Excuse me. So I put up a poll on Instagram to see if the streets wanted a sketchbook tour, and the streets spoke up, the internet streets, if you will. So here we are. We have 3 sketchbooks. None of these are complete. Some are more full than others, but yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start with this guy. Alright, let's get into this one. This is actually a custom leather-bound sketchbook that my wife got me for our latest anniversary last year. Anywho, let's unwrap it. It's got your boy's initials. Apologize for my voice. Dealing with allergies at the moment. First page, gotta throw a Hebrew sticker in there. Alright. This guy. Sad ass birthday is what this sketch makes me think of. Definitely took the reference off of Pinterest. I thought it was interesting. Guy lighting a cigarette with a birthday cupcake with a silly, childhood birthday hat. Yeah, sometimes I go on Pinterest and I get inspired to sketch out an interesting image. And I've been trying to get back into sketching for fun lately, so that's just something that I do where I'm like, this isn't going to turn into a painting. It's not going to turn into anything. Maybe I'll reference it and have one of my characters doing this at some point if I'm trying to convey, a sad birthday message or something. But for the most part, I'm not planning on using this further. This was just for fun. This drawing was, you could say, I guess, a rough ink drawing of maybe my character Mona. I'm not really sure. I was just trying to see that I did this in a hotel room at a work conference where I was like, let me see if I can, draw a face with ink without reference and that face could look semi-decent. And did it in 5 minutes or less, and I think I did okay for the goal that I set out. Not perfect, but not terrible. Moving on. I know exactly where I did this. I did this at the beach during Christmas, I think. Not sure where my mind was. I was looking at leather gloves as a reference off of Pinterest, and I liked a pose, I guess, that this one model was doing. So I was working off the hands, and then I decided to add a sinister eye and grin in the background there. You will not see this turn into a painting or anything like that. Not that I could think of at the moment. Just doodling out random, I guess, ideas, you could say. Oh boy, that's embarrassing. Just a random Pikachu with no reference, unfinished. I guess it's best we leave it that way. This might look familiar if you guys have been, following my page for a while. I did a larger piece, which I will show in the video, a digital painting. Basically, these 2 sketches turned into a digital painting, and I wanted to get a rough sketch of each of them. Just because I'm not too confident in my digital sketching. I like to sketch on paper first and then, bring it into the iPad and rework it there. So I knew what the setting was going to be. I knew what the, composition was going to be. I just wanted to, I guess you could say, sketch out the characters manually by hand and bring them into the iPad. So that's what I did here. Oh, skip a page. Haha, this was fun. I was definitely going for obscure poses, trying to get into like foreshortening practice, figure sketch practice, because sometimes I get into a rabbit hole of just drawing, I guess you could say, portrait sketches of characters, and every now and then you got to mix it up and draw something different. So I really like this image. I think it was off Pinterest. Love. I think this was an idea that didn't happen. I was trying to think of, I was going to a charity event called Love Hope that happens here in Miami every year, and I've been invited the past 2 or 3 years. I think it's 4 years old, but I've only been here for 3 years. Learned about it, started going to live paint. And this right here was like an early concept, just a literal, I guess, ideation of the word love. And I didn't end up painting this. I painted something else, but this was just an idea that I thought, oh, maybe if I don't have any better ideas, I could just do like a graffiti letter style, canvas piece of the word love. This was a request off TikTok. I was doing, a lot of ink sketches and ink warm-up sketches of portraits of different characters. Somebody asked for Goku in my style, so I honestly looked up a little kid for reference, and then I just added Goku's hair to him. So that was pretty fun. Now this is what I ended up painting at Love Hope. And I will show you guys that piece here in the video in just a second. But yeah, I had this idea for like heart eyes. Why not draw some like super big anime girl eyes with 2 hearts for pupils? And as you can see, very, very rough basic sketch turned into this big 24 by 24 inch canvas painting. The random page. You need a random doodle page every now and then. These two were like straight up freestyle, no reference. It's funny how it's like one of them looks like the Joker, one of them looks like a crying Drake with a bloody mouth. Yeah, I don't know. When I draw like a sinister looking character, it could either go to my Night Demon characters, or if it's like a humanoid character, it ends up looking like it could be a variation of the Joker. And then here, I don't know what I was going for, just like sad, world crumbling facial expression, and it ended up looking like Drake, I feel like. And if you disagree, let me know. This was like, I was looking at facial expressions on Pinterest, and I went with that. Gotta throw a muddy tag in every now and then. And then this was after, I think I watched the movie Leon the Professional. So I was like looking up random stills. I forgot this little girl's name in the movie, Natalie Portman's character, but I was trying to draw her. And yeah, that's where that took me. Here is like basically your boy Muddy finds like a cool pose and a cool, I guess, fashion on Pinterest, and like roughly sketches out the pose and then goes, you know what, I don't feel like drawing this anymore, and then leaves it alone. And then this, I think this was also freehand, no reference at all. Just, trying to see where my facial portrait practice can take me without reference. And it took me to, I guess, a lazy eye. I drew to me a more interesting nose than my typical noses. And yeah, interesting facial structure. and you know, you throw the muddy tag in as a face tat. Ah, your boy was watching Trigun. Great anime. Need to finish it. I'm the king of starting animes and not finishing them. That's just what I do. I have so many like that I really enjoy but just did not finish. And then I find myself repeating or rewatching like Cowboy Bebop before finishing the anime that I'm currently watching. Anyway, I was watching Trigun. I was like, let me try to draw, what was it called? Bash the Stampede. Let me try to draw this guy, you know, with barely any reference. I think it came out okay. I don't know what's going on with the nose. I feel like it's way too long, and his face kind of looks weird. It's definitely not my best, but hey. You gotta pump out some bad drawings to get to the good ones, right? Ah, this is my most recent sketch. Very, very recent. And actually the time lapse for this was doing quite well on Instagram. I think we're at 17,000 views as a reel. Again, drawing for fun. I just got back from vacation. I hadn't done any drawing or painting for like 3 weeks, and I wanted to get back in. Found a cool looking image on Pinterest and was like, let's draw that. That looks cool. Yeah, people seem to like it. Some people were like, oh, I'm excited to see where you take this, and I'm like, sorry to disappoint you. It's not going anywhere. You know, I'm not painting this image. This is just like a random, you know, sketch of a reference. I don't have any story to tell with the, you know, cone head character here. Ah, and then here came my random urge to do some graffiti letters, which, if you didn't know, Muddy, my, I guess, artist moniker, came from my graffiti days. The name came from a track and cross-country coach back in high school. But yeah, I used to do graffiti, but eventually I realized I was always more interested in the characters that I would draw alongside the letters. And a lot of times it's like I would try to think of cool letter fonts and whatnot, but it's just like it just didn't do it for me after a while, and I just was into character art more than the actual letters. So now I just, you know, sign my name with the buddy tag, but I don't really do letters that often. But here I'm just doing, you know, basic letters. I basically took my tag and just made it thicker. Threw some, you know, big eyes in there, called it a day. And I think that's that for this sketchbook. Not too bad in terms of how far along I am on this sketchbook. I tend to only do pencil art on this sketchbook. And lately I've been doing a lot of ink sketching, so I do that in a different sketchbook. But yeah, not so bad. But being that I'm assuming at like 10 minutes or so, if I'm able to edit this video well, I think I'm going to split these books into parts. So this was part 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll jump to the next sketchbook in the next video. Peace.